Welcome to Scenario, the deep dive podcast for analysis and reviews. Today, we're digging into an idea that really made some waves, brought up by Tracy McMillan in her TEDx talk, the concept of marrying yourself.
Yeah, it's definitely unconventional, isn't it? Especially coming from someone who's been through 3 divorces.
Exactly. McMillan grew up with that classic, love, marriage, baby carriage rhyme.
Uh-huh.
But her reality turned out to be, well, quite a bit more complicated. 3 marriages, 3 divorces.
Right. And you could easily look at that and just see, failure. But she frames it differently. She thinks maybe she was just marrying the wrong person all along.
So the big question we're exploring in this deep dive is, what does marrying yourself actually mean, according to McMillan? And why does she think it's so fundamental for successful relationships?
And we're basing this on excerpts from her TEDx Olympic Bizarre women talk, really getting into her own words.
Let's start with that contrast you mentioned, the childhood rhyme versus her actual life.
Yeah, she uses humor about it, saying her path was slightly more complicated, right? Which is quite the understatement.
But she doesn't just dismiss the divorces. She reflects on them. While some might see failure, she saw it as marrying the wrong person, initially anyway.
And the real turning point seems to have come after her 3rd marriage ended. That was around 2005, she said.
That's when she had this realization, this kind of epiphany.
Yeah, that the person she really needed to marry, the commitment she really needed to make, was to herself.
It came after what she called the collapse of that 3rd marriage. A powerful moment of clarity, it sounds like.
Absolutely. She realized she'd spent her life trying to marry other people, looking for something externally, but had neglected the most crucial relationship, the one with herself.
So when she talks about marrying yourself,
Yeah.
what are we actually talking about? It's not like a literal ceremony, is it?
No, not literally. It's more like an internal commitment. She uses the phrase putting a ring on it, but metaphorically.
Okay, so like a promise you make to yourself?
Exactly. It's a commitment to yourself, a recognition of your own inherent wholeness, that you're complete regardless of external things like a partner or a job or whatever else.
I can see how some people might be skeptical, though. Like a 3-time divorcee talking about marriage.
Oh, for sure. And she acknowledges that irony herself quite openly.
But her point seems to be that our biggest challenges often hold the most potential for growth, right? And for sharing what we learn.
Precisely. And her difficult experiences are really what led her to this kind of revolutionary idea.
To really get it, maybe we should touch on her background, because it wasn't easy.
No, definitely not. Her childhood was marked by some really deep wounds. Her mother struggled with addiction, was a prostitute. Tracy was put into foster care at just 3 months old.
Wow.
And her father was a drug dealer, a pimp, spent most of her life in prison. She moved through something like 24 foster homes by the time she was 9.
That kind of instability, it must have shaped her profoundly.
Absolutely. She said her primary goal became never be left. And initially, she thought marriage was the way to achieve that security.
Which ties back to the 3 marriages. She actually says her first 2 husbands were amazing men, and they're now happily married to other people. She's the one who left those first 2 marriages.
Right. And the 3rd ended differently, and now he's apparently a Facebook friend, so it's complex.
All these experiences pushed her towards some deep self-reflection, asking why she kept seeking this completeness outside herself.
And that honesty led her to this concept of self-marriage. And like any marriage, she says, it comes with vows.
Ah, the vows. Okay, let's get into those. The first one is for richer or for poorer. What does that look like in terms of self-commitment?
It means loving yourself exactly where you are right now, unconditionally. Not waiting until you achieve something, lose weight, get the perfect job or whatever.
So no, I'll love myself when?
Exactly. You don't wait until you reach some future goal, and you also don't hold past mistakes or choices against yourself, thinking, oh, I was such a loser back then.
It's that paradox, isn't it? That self-acceptance now is actually what allows you to move forward and grow.
Precisely. It's the foundation.
Okay, that's a huge shift in perspective. What's the second vow? For better or for worse?
This one's about sticking with yourself through life's disappointments. When things don't go as planned, your career stalls, you don't own a home yet, relationships falter, family conflicts, even just watching too much reality TV, as she jokes.
Okay.
The point is, you commit to being your own unwavering support system. You don't abandon yourself when things get tough. Think about it. Are you usually harder on yourself than you would be on a friend in the same situation?
Oh, definitely. Much harder. It's a common trap. Okay, vow 3. In sickness and in health. How does she interpret that one?
She connects this to forgiving yourself for mistakes, seeing them not as like character flaws, but as chances to learn and grow.
So self-compassion when you mess up.
Yeah. She uses this analogy like you ask for patience and life gives you situations that force you to develop patience. She learned this firsthand during her third marriage difficulties.
How so?
She talks about learning to care for herself through the pain, like sitting by her own bedside, comforting herself, realizing she could actually count on herself to get through it.
That's incredibly powerful. Okay, and the final vow, to have and to hold yourself.
This is about loving yourself in the specific way you desire to be loved by others.
Ah, okay. So meeting your own needs for love and affection.
Kind of. Macmillan talks about feeling incomplete, always hoping a relationship would finally make her feel whole. The big insight was realizing that wholeness had to come from within first. Self-love is the prerequisite.
And she believes this whole marrying yourself thing ripples out into every other part of life.
Absolutely. Business, family, kids, friendships, social connections. It changes how you show up everywhere.
How does it change things?
Well, when you truly accept and love yourself, you can love and accept others more freely, just as they are, without needing them to change or constantly validate you. It's a less needy, more authentic way of connecting.
I kind of love the world needs more of, as she puts it.
Definitely. And you see it in how she describes living now. Her job, she says, is just to light up my little corner of the world. Because she feels complete, she doesn't need anything specific from others.
Can you give examples of that?
Sure. She says she approaches meetings wanting to see how she can help others. She contributes to communities because she wants to share her unique gifts. And dating, this is interesting, dating becomes about checking in with her own feelings.
Not just trying to impress the other person or figure out if they like her?
Exactly. She mentioned a recent dating experience where she focused on how she felt in the other person's presence. Did she feel light? Happy? It was about honoring her commitment to herself by prioritizing her own well-being in the interaction.
That's a real shift. So she's putting her relationship with herself first.
Yeah. And she mentioned she is in a relationship now, but she's taking it slow, learning from the past. She doesn't need that external proposal anymore because she's already made the most important one to herself.
She ends the talk with such a vivid image, doesn't she?
Oh, yeah. Taking herself to the top of a mountain or the bottom of the ocean, getting down on one knee and promising never to leave herself.
Wow. So she's finally married to the person she always wanted to be with herself.
That's the core message. Tracy McMillan's idea isn't about ditching romance or isolating yourself. It's about building this incredibly strong, loving, committed foundation with yourself first.
And that becomes the bedrock for everything else.
Right. That self-acceptance, unwavering support through thick and thin, self-forgiveness, and just genuine self-love.
Those are the pillars: acceptance, support, forgiveness, love.
So as we wrap up, maybe a thought for our listeners to ponder, reflecting on this whole concept.
Yeah.
Which of those vows of self-marriage, richer, poorer, better, worse, sickness, health, have hold which one resonates most with you right now? And maybe think about how nurturing that particular aspect of your relationship with yourself might shift how you see your life and connect with others.
Exploring your own inner marriage, a powerful idea to sit with.